All brand new luxury cars are amazing. They drive great, they have the latest technology, and they have some great styling. Once a warranty runs out after 3 years or beyond, that's when everything starts to hit the fan. You get leaks, the engine starts burning oil. But you know what? I'm going to share a list of 10 of the best vehicles that you can buy in the luxury car segment that is guaranteed to be safe to own once the warranty runs out. Let's get into it now.
Life's too short to drive boring cars.
This here is the brand new Lexus RX 350, and this is what we're talking about here. So this one here does get the revised front end. Obviously you have this sort of bullnose look here with a little bit smaller big mouth grille. A lot of people didn't like that. Of course, you do have these new LEDs and oversized laser cut rims with this gorgeous LC500 type mirror right here. Of course, you do get lots of glass on top and this beautiful set of lines that go down here, all the way that cycle down to this beautiful light bar and this gorgeous Lexus script, which I love. And it says the RX 350 all-wheel drive. But do you realize Lexus has just recently switched to this RX 350, which is no longer the 3.5 liter V6. Rather, in 2023, now it is the 2.4 liter Turbo 4. So 2.4, but they're calling it a 350. I don't get it. But yes, this is not necessarily the Lexus RX 350 you want, but instead, this here is the one you actually want. That's right, this is the outgoing Lexus RX 350, one of the longest lasting SUVs you're going to find anywhere, anytime in the luxury car segment. And it's the engine under the hood that is truly tried and true. But let's give it a quick walk around. This is the RX 350, that's their mid-size SUV. Of course, you do get the relatively modern style headlights. You don't have to go that old to get a vehicle that looks that outdated to get quality and reliability. You do get some nice vents and detail right there, the big mouth grille, and naturally, got laser cut rims here and a similar LC500 type mirror here. Look, sunroof on top, and again, very similar like the new style RX model. You have that nice sight line there. Of course, a revised style of taillights, which are yesterday's news, but you don't have the light bar here. Instead, you have the chrome detail. See, instead of having that 2.4 liter that we just showed on the new version, this is the one you actually want. It has the 3.5 liter V6, pops out around 300 horsepower. That engine's used in a pile of different Toyotas and Lexus vehicles, and it has for numerous years because of its high level of durability and reliability. And that engine can literally last almost forever. 300, 400, 500,000 miles, forget about it. Whew, no sweat. This generation made it up to a torque converter automatic transmission, so it was a simpler setup, robust, easy to use. And the only common couple of gripes you have were the VVTi lines. They were known to burst. There was a bulletin to actually update those VVTi lines, the variable valve timing lines, to a more robust setup. And of course, the water pumps, it's not necessarily uncommon to find a little bit of coolant on the top. A weeping water pump could be an issue, and that is common to almost every manufacturer. Outside of those issues, stay on top of that in your oil services, and the RX 350 like this, I would have no issues in running way outside of warranty. Right there, there's another one that I could not believe actually makes this list of SUVs or luxury vehicles or cars that will actually last outside of warranty. And I would personally be okay in owning one of these outside of the warranty period because of the drivetrain that you find wrapped up in this vehicle. Now, this is a great driver, it's durable, it's reliable, it's peppy, and because BMW has finally got their act together and generated an engine under this hood that is finally a relatively reliable piece, that means you can drive in security knowing that this vehicle is going to last a long time. This one does come with the BMW LEDs right there. Of course, you do get the angel eye look and the new revised updated style of big kidney grille. You'll notice it's closed. Normally it opens and closes for cooling demands, and as you go, look, lots of nice detail on the front. So it's a very stylish looking SUV as well, but you do get some beautiful BMW type steel or metal right there, little vent, and of course fold away mirrors, and you get lots of sunroof and glass on top for all the happy customers. Right here, look at this beautiful two-tone here. You've got this piano finishing that wraps around. Good looking unit. Yes, this is great, that works. And of course, this is the X5 with the X drive. That means all-wheel drive 40i. The 40i is the sweet spot. That comes with the B58 single turbo twin scroll engine, 3 liters. The ZF 8-speed automatic transmission under the hood here is ultra reliable as well. So if you opt out of the air ride or the self-leveling system on this, that's one less component to fail, because some of the older ones that had the air ride, the airbags would fail. Opt out of that and you don't have that as an issue. Stick with the conventional suspension on these vehicles and you're good to go. The technology is fairly mainstream, tried and true, and BMW's been using a lot of it for years. Let's face it, the iDrive system is one of the best in the lineup in the industry as a whole. BMW's pretty much got that perfected. But under the hood, other than the transmission and the tech that's fairly durable, that engine, what's new? Well, it's a B58 straight six, 3 liters, single turbo on that side. The only issues you can expect, sometimes the odd one is oil filter housing. You might get the odd coolant oil leak there a little bit. You might have to reseal that. That's with huge age though. Generally speaking, big upgrades. The old piezo injectors from the twin turbo N54, gone. Now they've got a mechanical water pump. They've tossed the old electric water pump, which was another source of pain and heartburn for a lot of owners, because electric water pump, well, allowed you to do a lot of kind of thrifty things, and it was great from a technologically advanced perspective. The computer controlled the amount of flow that you can get, and it was very tunable too. But it was a prone little so-and-so to fail. And it was plastic housing. I personally had one in my old N54 335 BMW, and it's trash, and it's awkward to get at, and it's huge labor to replace. Now they've done away with that. They've got mechanical water pump. They've got heat encapsulation, so prevents the highs and lows and temperature swings, because that ultimately what destroys seals, gaskets, and plastic fittings, which everybody knows is high probability in BMWs of old. Now that's less of an issue. Yes, you still have to snap together plastic fittings, but a lot of those fittings get a lot more heat cycles out of them because of that heat encapsulation. Better fuel system, the bottom end, the crank support, as well as the case, much more robust than the outgoing models. This is just an overall better heating, cooling, performance, injection system. Everything is 10 times better than the engine it replaced in the N55. And that's why I would skip anything with the 50 series, because that's the V8. No, that's a no-go. But this vehicle here, an X5 with the 40i, is a vehicle I personally would have no issues owning this vehicle well outside of warranty. And here's the next one. Right now we have a Lexus, and this one's an IS 300 all-wheel drive. And IS series have always been a very popular model. This one features a 2-liter turbocharged engine, makes about 240 and change horsepower, comes with a torque converter automatic transmission. It's fun and frivolous. You can get an all-wheel drive. It's a beautiful unit. Obviously you can get an F Sport package. You get all the nice bling and LC 500 mirrors, little sunroof like a BMW 3 Series, and they do in some cases, because the F Sport package, you get a lot of nice touches like the wings and a lot of the blacked out finishing. It's a good looking unit with the splitter at the back and the diffuser, and a good looking set of rear haunches that look very menacing right there. But this isn't the one that you actually want, or the one I would trust to last forever. The one I would trust is this one right here. Here we have this beautiful blue IS series. It's the same vehicle as that one, but this one here has a different engine. Similar transmission. Of course, you get the big mouth grille right there. Beautiful check mark style headlights. And of course, lots of piano finishing on there. Nice set of alloy wheels, and F Sport on this unit too. LC 500 mirrors. As you can see, you have this nice little line, very similar to the LC 500, but all blacked out. Beautiful. I love this look right here. Simple access in. And of course you get a small sunroof, very much like the standard IS 300, but you circle around and you get these gorgeous tail lights right here, and you also get that wing. But this is an IS 350 all-wheel drive. And very similar to the RX model, this carries the 3.5 liter V6, 311 horsepower versus the 241 horse over there. This here is a much better performer, linear power band, sounds better, goes better, and it is a little more money, but this is the vehicle that's going to last a lot longer. The other one's more for show, this one's more for go. And if you want a vehicle that's going to last at least 300,000 miles with good maintenance, this is your bet. That infamously reliable 3.5 liter V6 requires very little other than standard maintenance, and again, very similar to the RX. These do have the VVTi lines you better look at, water pump cooling system troubles. And other than that, the relatively minor set of issues with these vehicles, it's just stick with your standard maintenance, and that engine has the fundamentals to literally last forever. I'd have no issues in buying this vehicle and keeping it for over 10, 15 years. And here's the next vehicle that's worth holding on to well outside of warranty, not because it's that great of a vehicle, not because it's the creme de la creme of Mercedes brand at all, but because it's one of the simplest models that they actually make. And when it comes to Mercedes-Benz, Audi, BMW, I often believe that keep it simple is what keeps it reliable. And keeping it reliable allows you to own a vehicle like this for a long period of time. And when there's cheap, simple, and reliable, they're often even easier for the do-it-yourself do-it-yourselfers. Pop the bonnet, get your hands dirty, fixing that 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder engine that makes about 200 horsepower is a great way to get into the experience of owning a modern-day Mercedes-Benz. You can see the beautiful speckled light here. This is a current generation of the A-Class. You get the big star rims here by Mercedes. You get the rocker panel, looks very sharp and crisp. I love the chrome handles, and as well, just this cutoff. It looks very sport touring, very Euro for a fact. And in 4MATIC configuration, you get turbo 4, all-wheel drive, sunroof, all the heated and electric seats that you could possibly imagine. Why not get into a vehicle like this? It's when you step into the senior, the S-Class, the E-Class, the SCLS, that's when you get into big dollars on maintenance and servicing, and you can literally find yourself underwater treading for water and air just to keep that thing on the road. Whereas these vehicles, because they're low cost, and I would own this over many other models in the Mercedes-Benz lineup just because of its simplicity. It gives you all the amenities that you possibly need. You've got space for 2 in the front, space for 3 in the back, and you got space in the back. Look, you can tow your tires around, your spare wheels, your hockey gym bags, you name it. Take a trip to the mountains for the weekend. This vehicle can literally do it all in the lap of luxury. And it's not that expensive. That's the beauty. So owning this outside of warranty can actually be a great experience without breaking the bank. Some people say that you can experience issues with the sunroof coming off the rails. I've heard of a few cases like that. Front end noise, turning too sharp full lock can emit some noises from the front end. Squealing noises have been noted on some cases. Some electrical issues throughout. As long as you keep it fresh, healthy battery, most of your electrical gremlins go away. And that's the thing that a lot of people struggle with. If you don't take care of your battery, remember, these vehicles run on a lot of modules, electrics, like most luxury vehicles these days. And if you're below that voltage tolerance, a lot of your electric lights and gadgets and gizmos start failing and acting all weird. So you can make all of that go away by the first thing I would always recommend: make sure your charging system's working well and your battery's up to snuff. That literally will take care of 80% of the problems that you're finding that are glitching, that are coming and going. Other than that, you might experience the odd oil leak here, the odd gearbox problem, and like I said, generally speaking, it's no better and no worse than your garden variety Audi. So let's talk about vehicles. Again, continue on with vehicles that are worthwhile holding outside of warranty, and right here is one of those examples. Now, bear with me, there's a bit of a caveat here, because everybody knows a Porsche 911 is a hugely expensive vehicle, and it's certainly not for everybody. But if you happen to be in the market, and if you happen to have the kind of resources to buy a car like this, then it's not the worst place to do it, because the 911 is one of the best holding in terms of depreciation of all vehicles on the planet, especially luxury car segment, which traditionally has a bad depreciation ratio because of their racing heritage and their style and their profile and the look and even the quality that's built into each one of these means that people are okay in spending a lot of money even at a used one. So if you buy it and you drive it for a few years and it runs out of warranty, yes, costs are very high. The maintenance shop, it gets real. And when you have to do a repair on a gearbox or a new set of brakes, they're expensive propositions. But remember, when you buy a car like this, the value stays. The ratio of vehicles like this with the Porsche 911 that were made versus vehicles that are still on the road, it's a very, very high vehicle because the quality's there. And yeah, some would argue, well, it's only driven in the summertime. Lots of people I know actually drive them all year round, including the snow. So it's really more about the way they're built, the quality, and yes, you will spend a lot of money on maintenance in the long haul. The bottom line is most of that money comes back because depreciation is very low on this vehicle, and you can get into this vehicle and out of it after 5 or 10 years and not lose a whole lot other than some of your maintenance costs. That's why a vehicle like this Porsche 991 generation, you can tell by the skinny tail lights here, this first generation, as you can see, beautiful. You got the quad tips down here. It's a 911 Carrera S Cabriolet. Nice finishing detail. Look, even the roof, the way it's fabric and stitched, it's nicely put together. Very few cabrios are designed like that in that quality. I truly believe this is one of those vehicles that's worth owning outside of warranty. And there's the next one there. I had no problem with buying new and owning it literally forever. These vehicles inspire a lot of confidence. I don't want to make this about Toyota and Lexus because I do believe Toyota and Lexus are struggling right now with the changeover to some of their new turbocharged engines, but this is the outgoing of some of the most reliable drivetrains that Toyota and Lexus have actually enjoyed. But it's sad to see these engines go away. But what we actually have here is a beautiful, glorious, full-size, large-scale sedan that can haul lots of people around in the lap of luxury. Of course, you do get this beautiful LED strip here, and I love this black chrome right here. It's beautiful. And this is the ES350, which I already mentioned on some of the others. This is essentially that naturally aspirated 3.5 liter V6. The only difference is on the IS and some of the other models, it's rear driven with an optional all-wheel drive setup. But this one here is naturally on the front wheel drive. So you have a transversely mounted engine, and of course now you have a front wheel drive configuration, which is a way that Toyota and Lexus managed to keep costs down, because the rest of the platform is extremely packed full of luxury and quality amenities. Yes, you get the 8-speed automatic transmission, you get the LC500 mirrors. I love the looks of these. Oh, these are beautiful from the LC500. Of course, one touch to get in. Beautiful two-tone. In this case, we get red and black interior. Slightly larger sunroof here. And I do love this chrome detail around the window. Beautiful. And they even give you a little bit of a wing here, because we're talking about an F-Sport package on this particular unit. Absolutely gorgeous. 300 ponies, front-wheel drive. Ultimate in Japanese luxury means this car will run for hundreds of thousands of miles. I personally wouldn't spend on extended warranty for a vehicle like this, and I certainly wouldn't panic if I own this and it ran out of warranty. Just keep on driving. And there's another more basic model, but it's one of the most reliable. And if you just want to get into the brand, you want a vehicle that's going to go a lot of miles, would you believe even this brand, BMW, has now come up the ranks in terms of overall reliability based on consumers' reports, is actually outdoing the likes of Honda, and actually at this rate, even probably Toyota is going to take some slots, of course, with some of the recent 2.4 and 3.4 liter turbo engines. So this vehicle here is a very basic vehicle. Here is a 4-cylinder engine, turbocharged, makes about 255 ponies in this configuration. You get a 3 Series like this. Is one of the more basic generic vehicles. You don't have air ride, no fancy suspension systems on this one. You do get xDrive, so it's all-wheel drive system, and it's a 330, so that implies that it's got the 4-cylinder engine up front. Yeah, basic alloys, basic simple handles that are quite robust. Of course, the mirrors are pretty reliable too, and this doesn't even have a heads-up display, because they're trying to keep it simple with the 3 Series. It has less technology, but it uses some of the tried and true drivetrains, like the Turbo 4 that you find here. This comes with the ZF 8-speed automatic transmission, which basically almost never fails. And as well, this is primarily rear drive, with the xDrive gives you front wheel drive up front. With this performance, fuel economy, and ease of maintenance, this is easily one of BMW's most reliable vehicles. It's not the fastest, it's not the most luxurious, but if you want to get into the brand, you want to enjoy the essence, this might be your way. And from my personal experience, I'd have no issues in running the latest generation 330 series engines with the B48 only, not the older N20s, but the B48 is good for 250, 300,000 miles. So a vehicle like this, I wouldn't worry too much about without having warranty. And there's the next one that I would have no problems with running outside of warranty, because I trust the brand enough. Now, they're not perfect. There's been some transmission issues, some drivability issues along the way, and a few little electrical gremlins. But for the most part, if you're a gambling person, even if something does break on this manufactured brand, it's usually not that expensive, not nearly as much as if you're buying Land Rover, Range Rover, BMW, Mercedes. All of those, as you get into complexity chain slides up, you're getting into big costs. This one here is actually relatively reliable, and it's one of a dying breed, and I'll get to that why. This is a great vehicle option for the luxury car segment that a lot of people are overlooking. Yes, it's an MDX. You have the beautiful LEDs. This one's all-wheel drive? Yes, it's a great looking unit. This is the revised version of it, slightly enhanced. You do get the nice tailpipes there. Beautiful. I love the gunmetal gray alloy wheels here. Big brakes on the back, big brakes on the front. Beautiful trim along here. And of course, look at this beautiful mirror. Look, sunroof on top. Look at the revised and enhanced headlights on the front grille. Now here's the more recent generation, and here's the older generation right there. And this one here, obviously, you've got this style of headlights, a little bit bubbly looking. You don't have as much of the aggressive vents as you do over here. Now you have a little bit more style. Cuts there, cuts there. It's a beautiful vehicle. And you have heads-up display too. The beauty is with a lot of these vehicles is they have minimal failures. As I mentioned, there's occasional transmission issues, drivability, surging, hunting, but for the most part, these are pretty robust, because this is a tried and true 3.5 liter V6. That's right, naturally aspirated, no turbos, and that's why this is such a huge win. That was the older Lexus vehicles, and Honda or slash Acura is still one of the brands still rocking a naturally aspirated V6. You get a 10-speed automatic transmission, means it's always in the sweet spot, it's reliable, it's trusty. And honestly, there's very few of these vehicles around anymore. As you see, even Lexus is changing their drivetrain schemes, and they're getting rid of naturally aspirated drives and actually putting in turbo 4s instead of the V6s. That's a crying shame, because out the window goes with reliability. So the Acura MDX is one model in the luxury car segment I would have no issues running well outside of warranty, because I trust the Honda brand. This is the model that I would suggest buying, because I had no issue with this. I believe this vehicle will run forever. And this is the older outgoing version. Of course, you have the nice details there, two-tone here. It doesn't feel like a slummy old wagon. It doesn't feel that dated. It's a little big, it's a little bulky, but yes, you have nice details like this. Chrome brushed aluminum. It's a GX460, because this now has a naturally aspirated V8 engine under the hood, 4.6, approximately 300 horsepower, automatic transmission, 8-speed thereabouts. It is a workhorse, very reliable. That V8 engine is known to go for hundreds of thousands of miles, and because it's tried and because it's true, this here, the older GX460, would literally be no problem lasting outside of warranty. And because most of these pretty much are outside of warranty right now, I would have zero issue buying a luxury vehicle like this Lexus GX460 and keeping it for the next 20 years. Oh, look, we have some birds up here. They want to see what I'm talking about as well. Look at all the pigeons up there. Oh, there he goes. Hey, he wants to follow what the program. Hey, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hey? But right there's the next one in line. I can't help but tell you, it's a very simple but effective vehicle. And of course, we're talking about BMW, and we know they've been coming up the ranks. Consumers Reports says that they're now more reliable than Hondas, and they're actually almost at the top pops these days because of some of the drivetrains that they're creating. Yes, BMW's come a long ways from some of the old workhorse slugs and dogs that they used to make. Here we've got the LED lights. This is an X-Drive, it means all-wheel drive, 28i. So what is this little SUV? Well, you get the laser cut rims, beautiful little door handles. Yes, you get a big sunroof on top and a little fold-away mirror that looks like it's well bolted on. Of course, here the BMW LED. So we'll scroll around, you'll notice the front end and the kidney grills are quite different, as they're the new design. Of course, it's a beautiful looking unit, and this is their smallest SUV. This is BMW's little infamously reliable X1 BMW. And because it's so simple, because it's so basic, that it doesn't have air ride and all those extra technology, keep it simple sometimes with some of these luxury brands. That's the ultimate goal here. That's how you're gonna get longevity, reliability, and as well, cost of maintenance isn't gonna destroy you. Because this here is an all-wheel drive, 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder engine that makes about 228 horsepower, hence the 28i right there. Again, all-wheel drive, made it up to the infamously reliable 8-speed ZF automatic transmission here. And there's very few issues that can go wrong with these vehicles, other than we know cooling lines, because they're all the snap together plastic fittings. You will anticipate by the time you're at 70, 80, maybe 100,000 miles, you're gonna start be replacing the few hoses, maybe a water pump or a thermostat. And the valve cover gasket might be a thing. Oil filter housing gasket, yeah, you betcha. But other than that, cooling line systems, stay on top of it. And this is one of the most reliable, easiest to maintain BMWs in modern history. And as a result, I would also add, there's another model which is basically a pancake version of this, would be, instead of the X1, it'd be the X2, which is basically a tighter sport coupe version of this. It's an SUV, but it's a lot smaller, sport compact, and it's a pretty little vehicle too. I had one there on loan a couple years ago, did a full review, check it out on the channel. But as well, this is one of their simplest, most reliable vehicles, the BMW X1. And with all of that said, right there, check it out. That's the worst luxury cars on the planet. You're gonna wanna get them gone way before the warranty's expired. Hope to see each and every one on the next one. See you real soon. Bye-bye.